The Galactic Council chamber fell into absolute silence as Anna stepped forward, her boots echoing against the crystalline floor. Behind her, Jack stood with his arms crossed, his jaws set in that familiar expression of barely contained fury that she'd come to know so well during their years serving together in Earth's defense fleet. The 7 species of the Council sat in their elevated seats, their various forms of eyes fixed upon the 2 humans who had dared to demand an audience. Ambassador Thekiner, the Vraxian representative with his forearms and scaled purple hide, it shifted uncomfortably in his seat. Ambassador Anna Chen of Earth Thekiner began, his translator rendering his words into perfect English. You have made serious accusations against the Krolithi Empire. We ask that you present your evidence with decorum befitting this decorum. Anna's voice cut through the chamber like a blade. You want to talk about decorum after what they did to our colony on Proxima 7? Jack stepped forward, placing a data chip on the presentation pedestal. The holographic display flickered to life, showing images that made even the most hardened council members recoil. Burning settlements, bodies scattered across what had once been peaceful farmland, children's toys melting in nuclear fire. 300,000 people, Jack said, his voice steady despite the tremor in his hands. 300,000 civilians, not soldiers, not military installations, families, schools, hospitals. The Krolithi representative Supreme Commander Gerthak rose from his seat, his massive insectoid form towered over the others, mandibles clicking in what might have been amusement. The humans lie. Proxima 7 housed a military research facility. Your intelligence was fabricated. Anna interrupted, her green eyes blazing. And you know it. You wanted our colony world. You wanted the resources, so you manufactured an excuse to glass it from orbit. She pulled out another data chip, this one glowing with authentication seals. We hacked your military networks. We have your actual intelligence reports, the ones that clearly stated Proxima 7 was a civilian settlement, the ones your commanders ignored because genocide was more convenient than negotiation. The council members exchanged glances. This was unprecedented. Humans had only joined the galactic community 40 years ago, after making first contact with a Vraxian exploration vessel. They were supposed to be the young species, the ones who listened and learned from their elders. This is an outrage. Garthak's voice boomed through his translator. You hacked sovereign Krolithi systems. This is an act of war. No, Jack said quietly, but his voice carried through the chamber with perfect clarity. What you did was an act of war. What we did was intelligence gathering. There's a difference. Anna advanced toward the council seats, and despite themselves, several representatives leaned back. There was something in her demeanor, something primal and dangerous that reminded them why apex predators walked upright. For 40 years, we've played by your rules, Anna continued. We've been patient. We've been diplomatic. We've swallowed our pride and accepted your condescension because we were the newcomers, the primitive mammals who stumbled into space travel almost by accident. She activated another hologram. This one showed Earth blue and green and beautiful, suspended in the darkness of space. But you made a mistake, she said softly. You forgot something important about humans. Do you know what happens when you back an apex predator into a corner? When you kill its young? Jack pressed another button. The display changed to show something that made the council members gasp. It was a fleet. Not just any fleet, a human fleet. Thousands of vessels, from small fighters to massive dreadnoughts, all bearing the insignia of United Earth. That's impossible, breathed Councillor Yix, the Delphinian representative. Your shipbuilding capacity can't what? Jack smiled, but there was no warmth in it. Can't mobilize our entire industrial base in 3 months. Can't retrofit every civilian vessel with weapons. Can't conscript every able-bodied adult who volunteered, and they all volunteered to defend their species. Anna's voice dropped barely above a whisper, but every being in the chamber heard her clearly. You thought we were weak because we were new, because we preferred diplomacy to war, because we smiled and negotiated instead of threatening and posturing. She turned to face Gerthok directly. You assaulted Earth, not literally, not yet. But when you murdered our children on Proxima 7, you attacked our home world. You attacked our species. And now you're going to learn something that every predator on Earth learned millions of years ago. Jack pulled up the final hologram. It showed human soldiers, thousands of them in powered armor that made even the legendary Vraxian shock troops look primitive. Their weapons gleamed with technology that shouldn't have existed. That represented a century of theoretical research compressed into 3 months of desperate innovation. Humans don't have thick armor like you, Gerthok, Anna said. We don't have 4 arms like you, Thek. We're not as strong as Vraxians or as fast as Delphinians, but we have something none of you have. And what is that? Gerthok demanded, his mandibles clicking with barely suppressed rage. Anna's smile was terrifying in its calm certainty. We remember every slight, every insult, every threat, and most importantly, we remember our dead. 300,000 voices crying out for justice. And they won't be silenced by politics or diplomacy or council procedures. She pressed one final button. The hologram changed to show coordinates, the location of the Krolithi homeworld. So here's what's going to happen, Jack said, his voice hard as steel. The Krolithy Empire will stand trial for war crimes. They will pay reparations. They will surrender the commanders responsible for the Proxima 7 massacre, and they will do it in the next 72 hours. And if we refuse—" Gerthok's voice was defiant, but there was uncertainty in his compound eyes. Now Anna's expression didn't change. "Then you'll learn why humans spent 10,000 years perfecting the art of war before we ever left our planet. You'll learn why we have more words for conflict than any other species in the galaxy. You'll learn why our children's stories are filled with warriors and heroes and last stands against impossible odds." She leaned forward, and her next words were delivered with absolute, unwavering conviction. "You'll learn that the scariest thing in the universe isn't a species that's good at war. It's a species that's good at peace but even better at war when you force their hand. You assaulted Earth, Commander. Now Earth responds, and we don't do anything halfway." The council chamber remained silent as Anna and Jack turned and walked toward the exit. The hologram of the human fleet continued to rotate above the pedestal, a silent promise and threat. Ambassador Thekner finally found his voice. This will tear the galaxy apart." Anna paused at the doorway and looked back over her shoulder. "No, Ambassador. This will teach the galaxy a lesson it should have learned from Earth's history. We're not the prey species you thought we were. We're the ones who survived the ice ages, the plagues, the wars, and the disasters because we refused to give up. We're the ones who looked at a universe trying to kill us and said, 'Not today,' and heaven help anyone." Jack added quietly, "Who makes us prove it?" The door sealed behind them, leaving the Galactic Council to stare at the display of human military might, paralyzed by the realization of what they had awakened. The age of human patience had ended, the age of human resolve had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same.